Good morning. Hello, everyone. Am I muted? No, I'm not. Things should be working. Please let me know if you cannot hear me. But we should be live. Hi. Welcome. It is a new intro. Isn't that fun? We're operating on a whole new level this morning, my friends. Welcome. Welcome. If you're just joining, if you don't follow me on Instagram, great, you can hear me. I've been doing this little live stream over on Instagram for a while now, last few weeks at least, just to kind of try this out. And then, I had so much fun that I was like, let's take this to the big leagues over on the YouTubes. I know it's early, 8:30 a.m., but the news and the law never sleep. So here we are. Thank you for being here. If you're new here, my name is Lee. I'm a real life lawyer on a mission to demystify the law and how it affects your everyday life. This is a brand new format. We're doing live streams in the morning because I read the news and I like talking about the news. And so I'm here to share the news with you. Fun fact and warning and disclaimer, I'm not a journalist. Also, I'm not unbiased. Never claimed to be. So I'm just your friend who happens to be a lawyer who likes to talk about the news, and we're going to just hang out. So glad you're here too. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Wow. Look at this fun tech. So we're going to get into it. I have some fun little banners before we get started. Super chat and super stickers are enabled. I'm going to take questions, I think, throughout. When I've done live streams in the past, I've taken questions at the end, but I'm going to be going over various headlines here. So, as we're going through them, I want to be able to take your questions so that I'm not answering questions about something I talked about 20 minutes ago, you know? So, any donation goes towards supporting this channel and allowing me to do what I do. But yeah, this is just, it's casual, it's chatty. We're not being perfect. We're not trying to be anything we're not. We're just a bunch of friends hanging out, talking about the news. So let's get into it. Moira is snorting behind me. Oh, I do have pup cam in the works. I know people have been asking for pup cam. It's in the works. Here's the vision that I have before we get into the headlines. A slight tangent. My vision is there's this thing called a furbo. It's a stand. You put treats in it. It has a camera on it, and you can connect it to your phone. You can hit a little button. You could watch the dog. You can hit a button, and it pops a treat out. People have been live streaming, connecting that furbo camera to their live stream so you can see it, and then like up down here in the corner, and then if someone donates a certain amount of money to the channel, then I press the button and Moira gets a treat, which I thought would be a fun gimmick and would make Moira start carrying her weight around here in this family. Because as that tweet or meme or whatever says, she sighs awful hard, gives big deep sighs for someone who pays no rent. So might do it. Let's see. Lee, I really liked your Supreme Court cases to keep your eye on. Hope you do another one for 2023. Yes, I'm hoping to turn one of these morning live streams into like a review of Supreme Court cases, because there's some big important ones coming. I'm going to see if I can get my chair any higher because I feel like I'm sinking. I need you guys to be able to see. This is my merch. It says dump him, link below. All right. Moving on. Latest headlines, my friends. First of all, it's Trump o'clock. Republicans, MAGA people love to say, oh my gosh, Democrats are so obsessed with Trump. Why? You guys are so obsessed with him. And yeah, we are. No shame, fully owning. Yeah, we're obsessed with Trump. It's like a train wreck you can't look away from. Oh, this is my merch as well. It says left-wing nut who is very annoying, in case you're confused as to where you are and who you're watching. Yeah, we're obsessed with him because I can't stop watching. I can't look away. let's get into it. So, Trump. Oh, Trump. He was finally granted his request to get his special master yesterday. But if you're not sure what's going on, let's back it up. We talked about this a lot over on my Instagram live, but I'm bringing this now to a YouTube audience, and so I know some of you haven't been following along. In case you haven't been watching the headlines and keeping up with it, I know there's like a million things going on about Trump right now. It's hard to keep track, but this is related to the Mar-a-Lago search. All right. So Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort was searched by the FBI because he had documents that were, top secret, or they had reason to believe that he did, and then they went in and found that he did. How did the FBI know that he had these documents? Well, we weren't sure at first. So the government, after Trump sued over the search to get this special master appointed and to make them stop looking at the documents. After he sued, the government came back, released the affidavit underlying the search warrant. In case you don't know, in order to get a search warrant signed by a magistrate judge, you have to go to the judge and be like, here are all the reasons why we have probable cause. And a good way to prove your probable cause is through a sworn affidavit, usually by like an FBI officer who's been involved in the investigation. And that person will go down the line, just, it's like a Word doc. And they just say, I so-and-so being duly sworn do solemnly swear that the following is true. And they lay out all of the details that they have. And they submit that to the judge. And that's how the judge determines whether or not there's enough probable cause underlying the warrant request to then issue the warrant, which is what happened here. So people wanted to get their hands on that affidavit because they're like, then we can see the probable cause and why they thought they had probable cause. But then, of course, the government redacted a bunch of it, which can be annoying, but it's also not for no reason, like there's a lot of sensitive information that's put in those affidavits, names of informants, names of FBI agents, and considering the fact that especially Trump supporters were literally trying to attack FBI agents and headquarters over this search, probably don't want to get that information out. They also talk about, special sources that they have, things like the secrets of how they investigate things that they don't want out in the public. So they redacted a lot of it. So it became just kind of this document with a lot of like black lines blurred out. So we didn't get much from that. And then after that, the government came back and replied to Trump's request for the special master with their own filing that laid out in more detail all of the reasons why they had probable cause. And they couldn't give all of them, but they did, shed some light on the situation. Can you tell I'm talking more with my hands because I have fabulous nails now? Sorry, distracted. Anyway. And the special master that he wants, it's a third party, indifferent, unbiased third party, usually a judge or another lawyer who will come in and do the investigating, take it out of the party's hands so that there's not like bias or anything. So here's the details that they laid out in that filing, the DOJ, as to why they had probable cause to search Mar-a-Lago. So here's what happened. The National Archives noticed back a while ago, a long time ago, that they were missing documents and they were required to return them back from the president. They requested it. I'm sure he dragged his feet, and his lawyers did. And finally, they got the boxes back in January. However, they looked through all these boxes and saw that there were a number of documents that were missing from the boxes or destroyed from the boxes or that were marked confidential. So they were like, hey, this is way above our pay grade. We're gonna refer this to the DOJ, which they did. So the DOJ starts kind of doing their investigation. They request review because they technically didn't have the authority to go into those documents. They had to request review of it. Trump's lawyers, again, dragged their feet, finally handed over a single red weld, which if you're not familiar, it's like that. It's a folder. It's red and it's thick. It's like this big. It's a very common thing for government people to carry around. It can fit, a solid amount of documents, but it's a single folder. They turned over one of those filled with confidential documents saying like, yep, we searched. In fact, one of his unnamed custodian of records signed a thing saying like, yep, we did a diligent search of everywhere we could possibly search, and this is all the confidential information we found. So they handed that over. They also showed the DOJ. They're like, come over here, take a look into this room here. And they showed them a storage room filled with like 15 boxes of stuff. And they're like, these are all the records that he has, that he took. We took all the confidential information out. This is what's left. Here, take a look. And then when the DOJ was like, hey, can we look inside the boxes? They were like, no, you cannot look inside of the boxes. So then they were like suspicious. And they started doing some more searching, and through various methods that they did not disclose, discovered that there probably were many more confidential documents in Mar-a-Lago, and also discovered that it's possible that Trump and or his cronies removed some boxes and documents from that storage room that they showed the DOJ and hid them elsewhere. So we're talking removal of documents. We're talking, potential destruction of documents, potentially confidential documents. So like this is bad, and it also doesn't look bad, or it doesn't look good for whoever his custodian of records is, who signed saying like, yep, we did a diligent search, definitely. So now Trump's lawyers are being told to lawyer up because they're like, doesn't look good. Okay, so anyway, the DOJ lays all this out in this filing and was like, oh, also he shouldn't get a special master because we've already reviewed everything, and we already, called out anything that has attorney-client privilege, which is one thing that he was saying, but he was also claiming executive privilege. But they were like, executive privilege, it doesn't count here. We've reviewed everything, and we've called out the things that would be considered attorney-client privilege, which is pretty standard. Like if you receive documents during the course of a trial or litigation that clearly are attorney-client privileged, like you as the receiving attorney would call them out, because like you can't use those in court. They would easily say like, that's attorney-client privilege, and then you would probably get sanctioned because the judge would be like, you should have known that was attorney-client privilege, like you can't use that. So it makes sense that they would have just called them out. I have heard the lawyers that do that culling, I've heard them called taint attorney. Ick. No. Ick. So anyway, their taint attorneys are handling it. So it's too late, basically. We're already reviewing it. It's too late for the special master. So now the judge yesterday, after all this back and forth, the judge last week heard the hearing, heard their arguments. The judge has now, Judge ayoubaghbalou has said, yeah, bring in the special master. He can have it. And this is a move that some legal experts are saying is an unprecedented intervention by a federal district judge into the middle of an ongoing federal criminal and national security investigation. This judge, ayoubaghbalou, yeah, she's a Trump appointee. This is why we were all screaming as he appointed hundreds and hundreds of judges throughout his tenure, because that shit sticks. It ain't going anywhere. Okay. Anyway, let's look at the judge's decision. Oh, I wanted to show you this photo first, quick. Hold on, let me see if I can. Oh, the technology. This is the photo. This is the infamous photo. This was in the DOJ's filing where they laid out all the details. They're like, here's all the details. And yeah, we got receipts. Here's a picture, redacted, obviously, of all these top secret labeled documents that were strewn about on the floor. Now, I'm not clear if they found them this way or if the investigators, as they were going through things, laid them out and took a picture like this to kind of show it. I'm not going to say that he just was keeping them like this because I don't know for sure. But he was storing them apparently near framed covers of Time magazine that he apparently keeps in a box, which is weird. It's weird. So here's the, let's see, let's go all the way to the top. Here's the order that the judge just issued, allowing the special master. We're not going to go through this whole thing, obviously, but basically, she granted the special master not only to review for potentially privileged material for attorney-client privilege, but also for executive privilege, which is where people are pretty up in arms about, because the executive privilege thing, according to some legal experts, pretty unprecedented. And the court has also enjoined the government from reviewing the seized materials for investigative purposes. And one of the reasons why she's saying that the president even has standing to do this to begin with is because some of the seized materials, according to the documents that the DOJ has submitted, include medical documents, correspondences related to taxes and accounting information, and personal effects without evidentiary value. Now, to the government's, defense, the warrant that they got allowed them to seize anything that contained government documents, even if it also had other personal things. But the judge is like, the plaintiff faces an unquantifiable potential harm by way of improper disclosure of sensitive information to the public, blah, blah, blah. So she's saying he's going to have irreparable damage, basically, if this is allowed to go without a special master, because he has a possessory interest. She says there's 520 pages of potentially privileged material and at least some material that is in fact privileged. Those personal effects, this is out of 11,000 pages. So I don't know if there's a threshold as to like how many pages need to be potentially personal to give him standing, but 520 out of 11,000, just for context. Yeah, so she's saying that there needs to be comprehensive review and that this includes executive privilege. But then if you look at what legal experts are saying, let's see, I highlighted some stuff for you here. So first of all, this decision that she's made to grant the special master, vulnerable to being overturned if the government files an appeal, which is likely. So the government will probably appeal her decision, and like her decision is so unprecedented and on very shaky legal grounds, according to legal experts, that there is a strong likelihood that this could get overturned. However, they are going to be appealing up. I assume this is in Florida. I should know that. Yeah, Federal District Court for the Southern District of Florida. They're going to be appealing up to the 11th Circuit. There are 11 judges on the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. 6 of them Trump appointees. You see how messy this is? 6 are Trump appointees. Usually, when an appeal happens, they're assigned like a 3-judge panel. So who knows if they'll be at random 3 of those 6 that he appointed. Who knows? Let's see. So a specialist in separation of powers at NYU said there was no basis for Judge Cannon to expand a special master's authority to screen materials that were also potentially subject to executive privilege. It's normally thought of protecting internal executive branch deliberations from disclosure to outsiders like Congress. So the issue is that like executive privilege, he's asserting executive privilege against other members of the executive branch. The Department of Justice, despite being called the Department of Justice, is part of the executive branch, not the judicial branch, executive branch. So it's using executive privilege to block a part of the executive branch. And this is also weird because she is allowing to go forward a separate investigation as to the implications to national security of these documents, which is being done by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. She's saying that investigation can continue. We're only concerned with the criminal investigation. However, the National Director of Intelligence is part of the executive branch. So she's saying, yes, this part of the executive branch can see these documents, but this other part of the executive branch can't. So unclear. She overlooked apparently some other court precedent in like the Watergate scandal, where Nixon challenged executive privilege and the judge threw it out. Like she overlooked some of that. So Unclear the legal grounds. That's where we're at. Special master would be a neutral third party. I don't know how neutral that person will be given this judge and everything we're kind of seeing from her. I assume it would be someone that would be agreed upon between the parties. People are saying it's just a move to slow down the investigation, the criminal investigation into him, which is like, yeah, duh. And now that the DOJ is probably going to appeal this decision, that's going to slow it down even more. It's a mess. Can y'all hear Moira snoring in the background? Love my girl. We got to get a pup cam on here. Anyway. So I also heard that he might announce his intention to run for president again in 2024, like very soon, like after Labor Day, which it now is after Labor Day. And his supporters will probably feel even more emboldened because of everything that's going on and feel even more loyalty to him because he can posit himself as this victim of big government. And like, there's real evidence that he is being investigated by this government. So they can point to it and be like, he's a victim. He's standing up to big government. He's my president. So that's a mess. All right, we're done. We're done with Trump o'clock. Moving on. I tend not to go international with these stories. I suppose I can pause and take a look at if you have any questions. Thank you so much for the super sticker and the super chat. Yes, I plan on doing this more often. Thank you. He is big government. Yeah. Feels like a math problem. He appointed 6 out of the 11 judges. What's the chance that all 3 judges on a panel are going to screw the country over? That seems like it would appear on an LSAT question. Yep. Even if overturned, it could just be appealed up to the Supreme Court. Sure could. Sure could. So, yeah, it's a mess. We can go into what he's being tried for at another point. Espionage Act. It's a whole thing. Hi. Thank you so much. Beep. Warby Parker. Yeah. So even if it goes to the Supreme Court, yeah, it doesn't seem great. Doesn't seem great. It's basically all a bid to stall the criminal investigation. All right, moving on. I don't tend to go international with these stories. Oh my gosh, Moira. She's out. She's feeling good. Because there's such a clusterfuck happening in the United States already that going international seems like more than I can handle. But I did see, this one headline pop up over and over again, and that is the series of 13 separate stabbings in Canada over the weekend, which I don't know why that's more horrifying to me than like a shooting, probably because I'm getting so used to hearing about horrific shootings that it's like I'm numb. But also stabbing feels like so personal. You got to get so close to these people, and a lot of them are like strangers apparently. Motive is unclear. 2 suspects were at large. 10 people are dead. 18 are wounded in 13 separate crime scenes. They happened largely on the Cree Nation Reserve in Saskatchewan and the nearby rural town of Walden, which I have a little map here just because I don't understand Canada geography. Here's Canada. Saskatchewan, right here in the middle. Minnesota's like right down here, so like close-ish. So here's Weldon. It was right outside there, the Cree Nation Reserve, and in the rural town of Weldon, where most residents are over 60, which is notable that it was like on the Cree Nation Reserve because, frankly, usually violence and other bad shit happening on Indigenous lands goes unreported. I guess it takes a horrific series of stabbings and the perpetrators to still be on the loose to get people to notice. The two suspects were brothers Damien and Miles Sanderson. They were at large until Monday when Damien was found dead in the woods near one of the crime scenes, and he appeared to have also been murdered, maybe by his brother. The wounds were not self-inflicted, reports say, and his brother Miles is still at large. So, like, this is a sleepy rural area. People are up in arms. It is a scary time to be living in that part of Saskatchewan right now, I think. Just lots of people being scared. I read one lady being like, I locked my door for the first time ever. Like, that's the community we're talking about. So, yikes. Yikes. You hate to see it. Yeah. So that's an ongoing story. Separately, in California, they just signed, in happier news, in California, they just signed into law a bill that establishes a government council to set a minimum pay rate for the fast food industry in California, which could lead to a pay increase as high as $22 an hour for fast food workers in California. It's pretty good. McDonald's, of course, lobbied to get Gavin Newsom to veto the law, but like, fuck off, McDonald's. In meme stock news, and this is not happy. This is kind of shocking. I apologize ahead of time. It's a little dark. Meme stock news. You remember meme stocks like the GameStop stock that like exploded last year because a bunch of Reddit users were like, wouldn't it be funny? Bed Bath & Beyond is the newest memes stock. They have not been doing great sales-wise. They had a weird August rally wherein there was a 400% stock surge because, again, it's a meme stock. It's a Reddit stock. They did that artificially. But, like, the company's not doing well otherwise. And the CFO, let's see, what was the name? Gustavo Arnal, the CFO, and a billionaire investor named Ryan Cohen were named 2 weeks ago in a class action lawsuit accusing them of insider trading and securities fraud during that 400% stock surge. Because when it was at that surge, the billionaire Cohen sold his entire stake in the company. So they were accused of insider trading and securities fraud. But Arnal, the CFO, sorry, this is dark. He killed himself. He jumped off a building in New York. Can you imagine? Now, I'm not saying that this is because of the meme stock situation, but like, fuck. But I do sometimes think about that. I often think about the time in Mad Men, the show. Remember Mad Men? When the guy, oh God, I can't remember his name. One of the executives like loses a bunch of money and then hangs himself in the office. Sorry, this is dark. And I always think about that, about how much when you have more money and you have more to lose and then you lose it, you really lose sight of like what matters and what's important and like what that you can live without being a millionaire. Like you can go on. You can you declare bankruptcy, maybe you lay low for a while, you get a shitty paying job, you make ends meet. You got probably some pretty good connections. A lot of people who are very wealthy bounce back from bankruptcy pretty quickly. Anyway, he was probably afraid of jail time, but I don't know. Wealth I feel like makes your perspective like real warped on a lot of things. And if you were joining me over on my Instagram lives, you'll know that I like to scream a lot about wealthy people. I'm not going to scream about this wealthy person because that is just sad, but I feel like it really warps your sense of reality. It's not worth it. I agree. Was the wife in the apartment with him? God, I don't know. That's awful. Yeah. Is money really worth all that grief? I don't think so. So that's sad. I really need to come up with better transitions for these stories. I don't have one. Moving on. iPhone 14 is going to be announced tomorrow. It's dropping. I don't know if it's dropping tomorrow, but they're announcing it at like their big iPhone summit thing that they always have. But I could have told you that already because my puny little iPhone 12 2 weeks ago, the battery just mysteriously quit being able to last all day. Out of the blue, very suddenly. I have always been really happy with the battery life on my iPhone 12. Usually when I plug it in at the end of the day, I still got a solid amount of battery left. I just plug it in out of habit. But now it's like I got to charge it midday and my internet usage hasn't increased. My, phone usage hasn't increased as far as I know. Very suspicious, Apple. But yeah, I will be upgrading. I will be upgrading to the iPhone 14. Thank you for asking. Yes. I can't get away. All right. Next, we got Climate Corner. Ethereum, that blockchain cryptocurrency thing that no one understands. It's undergoing a software update beginning today. They're calling it the merge. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I just got so excited. They're calling it the merge. It's a software update. And it's expected to decrease the energy used to validate crypto transactions by over 99%, which is important. And it's huge because crypto mining is incredibly energy intensive. So any means to lower the environmental impact of cryptocurrency is huge. I don't think that validating crypto transactions is the same as crypto mining. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. But either way, it's incredibly energy intensive, which is fucking wild because it's not real. We're not mining. We're not in the dirt. What on earth are you using that energy for? And why? I hate crypto, bros. Oh, this is where I start yelling about rich people. Found the spot. Fuck. Yeah, Ponzi for gamer bros is right. What? It's fake. Oh, validating is the mining. Thank you so much. So apparently this merge is going to reduce the validating by 99%, the energy needed, which if true, big if true. We'll see. Yeah. And to be full disclosure, I do have $50 invested in cryptocurrency because I couldn't stay away. And I did it like a while ago. Oh gosh, sorry. I'm just looking at my phone to see what the current value is. Yeah, I invested $50 just out of a sick curiosity, and I don't have any more money to spend. My balance is now $51.93. It's all fake. Thank you for your donation. Moving on. In other environmental news, Jackson, Mississippi has water again. Yay! It's for the first time in weeks, but they still have to boil it, which they've been doing all summer, which we didn't know until after they lost water completely. And then we were like, oh, apparently they haven't had drinkable water in months. Cool. And now they have water, still not drinkable. And Lord knows this will probably leave the national spotlight and there'll be another Flint, whose water, by the way, still is not up to proper standards, in case you were wondering. Yeah. And I read something about, I can't remember what they were called, sacrifice towns or something, sacrificial cities, where like these are cities that are just being sacrificed because it'd be too much money to like redo the entire water system. I just saw what time it is. It's 9:05. I got an appointment in 10 minutes with my therapist. Please go to therapy. So moving on. Also in environmental news, gas prices could soon fall below $3 again. Great. OPEC is panicking and cutting back oil production, which I guess is good, but could then cause gas prices to go back up again. But they're for now, they're falling. Okay. Moving on to what I call consumption corner. This is where I talk about things I'm consuming, pop culture, current events, TV shows, movies, everything else that doesn't fit, you know? So, The Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings show on Amazon, it has gotten positive reviews from TV critics, but 39% is what they got on Rotten Tomatoes from viewers, and 25% of IMDb viewers gave it a 1-star rating, which is bleak because they spent a total of $715 million for the IP and production of this first season alone. Yikes. I need a yikes button. Yikes. And because of this, Amazon is now requiring that people wait 3 days before they can rate Prime Video content when they watch it, which is like dumb. That's not going to make people like it more. Just do better. Try to be like unique instead of spending millions on a reboot. In other news, people are gathering at the Venice Film Festival, where the most notable film, probably arguably to be shown, is Don't Worry, Darling, starring Harry Styles. And yeah, I am a fan. Yeah, I do think he's dreamy. Yeah, I listen to his music a lot. I had a One Direction phase later in life than I care to admit. His co-star Florence Pugh was notably absent. And Olivia Wilde, the director, was separated from Harry by multiple other stars during press shoots and interviews to avoid too many pictures of the two together because they're rumored to be in love. People think that Pugh is mad at Wilde. Florence is mad at Wilde for stealing her leading man. Florence Pugh is also in the midst of filming the Dune sequel, so she's busy. But you know, who knows? Harry's fans love to hate Olivia Wilde because she stole them from him, so they create all these rumors. But if they cause the movie to tank because people hate Olivia Wilde for some reason, it's also going to hurt Harry's career too. I do know the intensity of a teenage girl obsession firsthand. I was a huge fan of, and I'm embarrassed to admit it now, Drake Bell. Remember him from the Amanda Show and Drake and Josh show, who now turns out to be a major creep? Yeah, I was like next level obsessed with him. Pictures of him all over my binders in middle school. Thought we were going to meet one day and get married, envisioned our life together, obsessed. And that is a fiery passion that is unequaled in nature. So that's why I assume people are going after Olivia Wilde, who love Harry Styles. I would just like to briefly note the propensity for people to turn the women into the villains and the man into the victim of many different celebrity things. Names will not be dropped here, but it is a common trope. It is a common trope. Could just be that Florence Pugh is having health problems that she doesn't want to talk about, so she's not there. Or she's genuinely busy and feeling burnt out. I saw somewhere where they were like, well, I mean, Timothée Chalamet is also filming Dune, but he made time for his press run. They're two different people. We don't know what's going on in Florence's life. And if Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles are happily in love, God bless. I hope they're happy. I hope they're having a nice time. Stop making women into villains. Moving on. Also at the Venice Film Festival, we'll end it on this positive note. At the Venice Film Festival, also, Brendan Fraser got a 6-minute standing ovation for his return in the movie The Whale, and he got all choked up about it. We love Brendan. Talk about teenage obsession. Fuck. Tarzan? No, not Tarzan. What? George of the Jungle. There we go. I'm sorry, my brain stopped working for a second. Woo! Got my teen heart racing. All right. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Very appreciated. Thank you for being here today. Yeah. You're so jealous of the baby. I wish I was sleeping. I know. She sleeps so good. She had such a nice night's sleep. All of her itching is gone. By the way, we got a stronger med from the vet. She's doing much better. Oh boy. Okay, there's more drama there. Florence is mad because Olivia and Harry yeah. Well, then there's the Jason Sudeikis drama wherein Olivia Wilde was served with her divorce papers from Jason Sudeikis while on stage accepting an award, which Jason claims like, "Oh, I didn't know about that." But as a divorce attorney, he should fire his divorce attorney if his divorce attorney had the papers served in that manner without his okay, because that's very inappropriate. Or that a divorce attorney should no longer hire that servicer if the servicer took it upon themselves to serve the papers upon Olivia Wilde in that way. I don't think a servicer would do that. I don't think a lawyer would do that. I think Jason Sudeikis would have done that. And if he were, again, this is not, I don't know if this is true or not. This is all alleged. I'm just speculating. If he were my client and he told me to do that, I would be like, no. Inappropriate. Absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, fascinating. It is fascinating. And I do really want to see the movie because, yeah, I want to see Harry Styles as a leading man, pretend that he's my husband. Ooh, you think it was Jason Sudeikis' PR people that did it? Ooh. That could check out. That could check out. Okay, and so apparently there's some Shia LaBeouf drama. I didn't know about that. I'll have to read into it. Oops. Hello. I didn't know about that. We'll have to look into it. For now, though, I gotta go talk to my therapist about things. So thank you for being here. Links are below to if you want to support this channel, as has been scrolling because I have this fancy technology now. Thank you for being here. This got like longer than I anticipated. I was thinking it'd be 30 minutes, but I feel like I don't know if I shoved too many things in. I don't know. Thanks for being here. I'm going to keep doing this. The goal is every weekday until I burn out. And I might need to change it to like 4 days a week or like every weekday except for every other Friday or something. Like I don't want to burn out. So, but this has been really fun and I've been doing it over on Instagram and it's been fun as well. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Yeah, I will see you tomorrow morning at the same time, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. We'll talk all about more news then. Thanks so much for being here. Have a good day. Bye-bye.